If you're looking for a SellerAmp tutorial specifically for Canadians doing Amazon online arbitrage, this video is for you. We're going to go through the settings so you're properly set up when calculating fees. We're going to set up how to source with SellerAmp, and I'm also going to give you one of my best techniques to save you hours in admin work only using SellerAmp. And then last but not least, we're going to do some sourcing with it using a technique that I invented myself, and in my opinion, the best way really to use SellerAmp. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into the settings so you're properly set up from day one. All right, so this is the setting page. If you guys don't know how to get here, you click the top right, you click settings, it's gonna bring you here. It's pretty straightforward. The first thing is inbound shipping. I put 80 cents per kilo. If you're a new seller, you might not be sending as much inventory. The more you send, the more efficient your boxes are. And for me, I found that 80 cents per kilo is the perfect amount, that it comes back down to average. But what I suggest you do is take your first 3 shipments, take the total weight in kilos and divide it by how much it costed you. And you're gonna know your average dollar per kilogram. So when you're sourcing heavy items, the calculator is gonna take into account that it's gonna be more expensive to ship to Amazon. In terms of inbound placement, you don't need this. This is for US sellers. We could just leave it at minimum shipment splits. And in terms of storage time, guys, we're doing Amazon online arbitrage. We're trying to flip things inside 1 to 3 months max. So it shouldn't really do much in terms of storage time for us. Something that's extremely important for us Canadians, okay, is down here, the VAT scheme. We need to have this as not applicable. It starts off by default as not registered. What that will do is it will tack on 15% on your purchase price. So imagine you're competing with me and you think everything is 15% more expensive. It doesn't make sense, right? Places like United Kingdom, that they have VAT and they're obliged to pay that. But here in Canada, as long as you have your tax numbers registered, you need to have here VAT not applicable because all your taxes are refunded to you. If you want to know more about that, you can watch an accounting video that's on my channel. On the right hand side here, buying criteria, this is just visual. Guys, you can put whatever you want. What's important is additional costs here. I like to put a 25 cents miscellaneous fee. It covers your average poly bag, craft mailer, papers that we're putting in the boxes for Amazon. It's just a good safety buffer. But if you're running a prep center, right, and you are delegating your prep, this is where you would put your prep fee of $1, $1.25, $1.50, depending on how much your prep center is costing you. This is where we would put our additional cost. If you're not tax registered and you're selling on Amazon first, you shouldn't be doing that in my opinion. You're playing from behind. But let's say you are. Well, you want to put your taxes, don't put it in the VAT scheme, put it here. If you have a 5%, right, put 5%, not 50. If you're in Ontario, you could go ahead and put 13%. If you're in Quebec, you could put 15%, right? That's where you would put it, but I suggest you get tax registered right away so we do not pay those miscellaneous fees. The next thing we'll do is we'll hop over to the display panel. Again, more visual, but this is exactly what I like to have in front of me. I want to see my profit. I want to see my ROI. I want to see the Keepa on search results. I want to see the top offer, and I get to see some of these charts here. So you can literally just copy this into your settings. And last but not least, we got to go see the panels, right? What do I have on when I'm looking at a product on Amazon.ca? You can see I like the buy box analysis, one of my favorite ones. A profit calculator is a must. Google Sheet is also huge. I'm going to show you how to set that up next. And the rest is pretty much all default. So now that we really got through the settings, once we do this once, we set it and forget it, and the calculator is always going to happen accurately. And that's the important part. So before I show you how to show up this Google Sheets setting and save you hours in admin, let me show you a little bit how the panel works for calculating the FBA fees and your profit on an Amazon product. All right, so I picked a random ASIN. The important part is this little sidebar here on my right. And if you watch my videos often, you'll see this sidebar actually on the left-hand side where I prefer it. I don't like to have a bunch of information on the right. I find the left-hand side a little bit easier. So what you could do right away is at the bottom here of the panel, we can select it going on the left side. If you're a viewer of mine, you know it's always there. So now this is the panel that we kind of set our settings on, and we have a bunch of information. If we can log in here, we'll be able to see if we're allowed to sell the product or not, which is huge, right? If we're not allowed to sell the product, there's no point in actually looking at the product itself. It also tells you some alerts. Some alerts that can come up is multiple IP complaints, private label, or a dangerous good. I just posted a video on the top products I would avoid, so you can go and check that video out if you're interested on what alerts to really look out for. And in terms of the rest of the panel here, we have some just sales figures that we get from Keepa. We have an estimated sales, we have the BSR, we understand right away what our max cost is. So if we Google this, we can just calculate right away, 647 it's a 3-pack, probably not going to be profitable. Talking about doing math, right? Quick math. We saw here, if I go over, it's 647 for one product. So I could do 647 star 3 because it is a 3-pack, right? And it does the math for me. Obviously, it's not profitable on this listing, but just so you know, you can do math on your SellerAmp. Who would have thought, right? But ideally, we would get this at a point where it tells us, hey, you are profitable or not. So getting this at $9.99 will give us 52% ROI. It's the calculator doing it for us and calculating the Amazon fees that will come with it. If we click over here, we have a bunch of little hotkeys that can bring us to a specific place. If we click the calculator, it will break down exactly the fees for us. We click the total fees, it will bring it up. You have that 25-cent miscellaneous fee we talked about, 6 cents for inbound shipping because this is not a heavy product. It gives us $6.33 if we're going to FBA it, and $3.86 for a referral fee. We can switch this FBA to FBM, input our own FBM costs, get ourselves a new profitability. So we have a ton of information in terms of how much it's going to cost us detailed using SellerAmp. But not only that, if we scroll up here, we have the buy box analysis, which is cool. In the past 30 days, 90 days, 180 days, you can see how the buy box has been distributed. Now, I know you can find this in Keepa, but this just gives you a good visual all in one panel. We scroll up, we have that famous Keepa chart that is just displayed here interactively with SellerAmp's touch on it. Again, for the alerts, we have the variation, meltable, size, everything that we would want is here. All I'm missing is to log in to see if I'm actually ungated in this. We have some more stats here with lowest FBA price, lowest FBM price, how much Keepa drops there are. You really get all the information you need on this left panel. And this is the reason I use SellerAmp the most. It's just a concentration of data and ultimately telling me if I'm profitable or not. But it doesn't end there. I told you guys there was something that SellerAmp does that saves me hours when it comes to admin work. And it's Google Sheets function, right? So if we click the little G up here, it brings us all the way back down here. And you can see I have a few buy sheets. I've made multiple variations of it, but let's come back to SellerAmp setting to see how we can set this up and exactly how I use it to save myself hours in admin. And we're going to go up here in the sheets. You won't have anything because you don't have anything set up. You're going to press setup. And what I'm going to show you how to make yourself is your own buy sheet template. This is something that all my students get in my cohort, but I'm going to show you how to build it yourself. Every time you buy something, instead of manually having to put the title, the ASIN, how much it costed, we're going to build something that with one button automatically takes the information and puts it on a sheet for us. So going back to SellerAmp, we can see here, again, you won't have anything. You're going to have to press new sheet. And we're going to have to make it where the columns line up perfectly to something like this, right? I'm going to freeze here. You could take a screenshot to make it yourself. We have the date, the name, the ASIN, some taxes, how much you bought, how much the total was, cost price, sale price, and some more info on the right-hand side. Now, we can get all this information. SellerAmp doesn't know how much taxes you paid. SellerAmp doesn't know how many units you purchased. So that's why we need to leave this blank. And what I mean by that is if we go back here, you're going to have to name yourself this title. You can call it your own buy sheet. But you can see the columns line up perfectly with that spreadsheet. Column A is the export date. If we go back to here, the export date is there. We come back here, product name is on B, product name is on B. You see how it's just going to take it and automatically put it. If we go C, it would be the ASIN. Now, we leave column D, E, and F empty so we can put in some formulas for taxes and how much units we purchase. Now, if you're buying in your own province, you know your taxes, you're going to be able to put in your formula for that. But we need to leave F empty so we can actually put how much units we purchased. If we go back here, we see it's ASIN, empty, 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 empty. Cost price, sale price, empty, 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 all the way down to URL. So every time you purchase something, we're able to get all this info. And honestly, for me, I have a sheet like this that goes back to February 2022. I have 4 years of data thanks to using one button on the Google Sheet every single time. And I ended up here saying, hey, where did I buy it from? What's my order ID? Do I have any notes? And last but not least, if I would need to go back to the Amazon link, it would automatically get posted there. So once we have this all set up, we go back here, we make the YouTube sheet, we save this exactly the way it is. When we're on an Amazon product, it's only one button. So let's go cut right to there. So now that we're on a product here, again, we just press the little Google button. We would press YouTube buy sheet here, and automatically all that information is gonna get pushed to that Google sheet. If you want this template already done for you, you can join my school community. It's free. The link will be pinned in the comments, and you could just DM me there and I'll send it to you. On top of that, there's a bunch of Canadians in there asking questions every day. So it's honestly a no-brainer if you're a Canadian seller looking for a community of like-minded people. So let's actually go source with SellerAmp right now and find some products using the traditional method of sourcing with SellerAmp. And then at the end, I'm going to show you my unique way of sourcing with SellerAmp that's led me to way more leads than the traditional way. All right, so here we are on an Amazon listing. Doesn't need to be the best Amazon listing. We're just using it for its sellers. So we're going to use that panel. We're going to scroll all the way down to the FBA sellers. And ideally, we're looking for somebody that's near our store in terms of reviews. Now, I'm going to put myself in your shoes as a new seller, and I'm just going to scroll down. I'm going to look for somebody here, like 13 reviews. This is pretty good. We'll open up a few of them, right? We'll open up 3 for this video. Here we have 15 reviews, and we'll do one a little bit more, 35 reviews. So now it opens up 3 storefronts, and we have the top brands for each storefront, the top categories for each storefront, and we can also just at large scroll down and have a bunch of data here. We have on the right hand side, we have that Keepa chart from a bird's eye view. We can get all the necessary information as estimated sales, how much the product should be the max cost for it. That's because the settings that we put in on the back end, and then what's the current buy box price. So if the buy box price is lower than the storefront price, you already know that that's a problem. What I like to do when sourcing this way is, one, I like to go by category, and then also I like to look at the max cost. So if we use a beauty for an example, and we start looking at the max cost, and we can ask ourselves, hey, can I get these 2 bottles of shampoo here for like $10 each? Probably not. But for an example, let's go see and source this. We're going to press a little Google button. It's automatically going to open up Google. We see we can get them for $14.97. Here we also have this big price here, $47. I wonder if it's a combo. It is not the right product. So we see that's $14.97. Probably it's not profitable. That's going to be around $30. So we can automatically just move on to the next one. Same thing here. We would need each bottle for around $7. We press the Google button and each bottle is $13. So again, we could just move on to the next one. The beauty about this technique is it brings you down rabbit holes and it never ends. When you're done with one, you can just easily click another seller and have a brand new batch of products. Here I opened up the Amazon page right away. I could just start from there. We can see if we can find this number 7 product. Doesn't seem like it's the case. So we're just going to, again, move on. Eventually, scrolling this, we're able to find products that are profitable based off of that max cost. That's part of sourcing, right? It's being patient. And this is why I dislike sourcing the traditional way of SellerAmp, like most people are going to show you. But this next way I'm going to show you drastically changes the way you source. We're still using SellerAmp as the calculator, but you're going to find leads way quicker. So for this, we're just going to have to head over to Keepa.com and I'll catch you there. And we're heading to Keepa.com. You can click Pro and Product Finder. In here, kind of like SellerAmp, you have all your products and all the data available to you, but we're going to be using a super cheap software that's going to tell us right away if we're allowed to sell a product or not and makes things way, way, way quicker. The software we're talking about is CanFlip.ca. Guys, I'm biased. I'm the creator of this software. I just believe in it so much. You have a 3-day free trial and then it's $12.99. So if you like it, the pin is going to be pinned in the comments and I'll show you how to use it. You don't need to for this method, but you'll see how quick it is. Now we have a bunch of filters to go through. I know what you're thinking. What does this have to do with SellerAmp? But you'll see very quick. What I like to do is go down to the categories and I'm going to pick a category specific. I'm going to pick toys and games for this one, but you could really pick whatever you enjoy sourcing. It brings us to 4 million products. That's way too much. So we can scroll back up and what we'll do is put the minimum buy box price at $30. I like having something a little bit more expensive to sell so my ROI could be better. I'm going to put Amazon out of stock. I don't want to compete with Amazon. To be honest, I don't want to see the top 1,000 products selling on Amazon. I'm probably not going to be able to compete for it. It's probably wholesalers buying these at ridiculous prices. And now we're down to 234,000 products. Still way too much. Some simple filters that we're going to add to really bring this down and narrow it. 30-day drop percentage on buy box. Super low key. We can put a maximum of 10%. So this is saying, hey, in the past 30 days, I don't want the price to have dropped more than 10%. That means the price is going to be very, very stable, lowering a chance of a tanking buy box. But still, 45,000 is still way too much. There's one more key filter we need to put, and that is new FBA offer count. Guys, it could be that the brand owners themselves sell on Amazon. We do not want to look for listings that only have one seller on it. We need minimum 2 to eliminate the private brand owners. So once we put 2 here, it brings us down to 45,000 to 3,165 products. And with the goal of not having too much competition, let's say, hey, not more than 6 sellers on the listing either. So it brings us down to 3,000 products. We're gonna do find products in this case, and you're gonna see the magic of CanFlip. Automatically, it is starting to filter and putting colors on the products. Yellow means you need approval and you cannot sell it. Red means it's straight up restricted, and green means you're good to go. So guess what? When we press the yellow, right? Because look how many products you would have clicked and it wouldn't have been allowed to sell. We're just going to press need approval, completely eliminates this from our vision. Now, something super important, if you are impressed with CanFlip and you want to use it and you install it, you need to have configure columns and you need to put URL and select Amazon here, guys. Then the column is going to be like all the way on the right-hand side. So you got to go find it and drag it all the way to the front. Once you do that, you get your Amazon link here and the Google It button. So now the game becomes a lot quicker than before with SellerAmp. We're looking at the price point and we're looking for around half that. I know in SellerAmp we had a max cost, but I'm telling you right now, as long as you're looking for around half the buy box cost, you're going to probably be profitable. So now I'm not looking to sell these huge products like this. I'm just scrolling down until I see types of products that looks like it's going to actually be able to sell. Now you see I have a white screen in front of me. I mean, if I turn back on need approval, all these products here, I would have had to open and it would have told me I was not allowed to sell. So that's why it saves so much time. So something that we will do to just get ourselves seeing a little bit better products is we're going to sort by bought in the past month here. We're going to click it twice and we're going to start on the 50 per month. Right? And same thing, we're going to remove all those yellow products. And now we're really set looking at products here. And if we hover over the image, we get to see a nice big picture and we get to see, hey, can I get this product for half than $49.99? I press the Google It button, just like SellerAmp, it pulls it up. If I can't find it right away, I'll move on to the next one. This is a game of speed. Now, if we keep scrolling down, again, everything just gets erased that I'm not allowed to sell, makes sourcing so much quicker. I've been scrolling for a little bit here. You see $39.93 for these fries. We have $19.97 here, which is around the halfway point. So let's just go and see. It is sold by Walmart and it is emotional support fries. Seems like one was written in French, so I'd probably have to find this if it's in English. But assuming it's $19.97 here, it would be pretty close to profitable at $5.62, 28% ROI. So you see, just by scrolling, we're able to find potential products. We have a Pokemon pack here. Sometimes these are a little bit harder to find. $34, not quite half. But again, as I scroll, as I pick new categories, it just makes things hyper efficient because I'm only looking at things I'm allowed to sell. And how this ties in with SellerAmp is we're using it really coupled with CanFlip. So the minute we open the product, we are able to see, hey, how profitable is it? And we're making quick decisions insanely fast. Are we allowed to sell it? How profitable it is? And then the only thing to do after that is look at the Keepa graph and do due diligence. SellerAmp, Keepa, and CanFlip are the 3 softwares I use to sell over $2 million in this past 4 years selling in Amazon Canada. And that's all you really need. Every single software is going to be pinned in the description and in the comments. You'll have free trials to SellerAmp and CanFlip. And again, if you want more support from the Canadian community of Amazon sellers, I have my free school community you can also find pinned in that comments.